Let's talk about brain elasticity. It is the mind's ability to hear new information, consider it, and then adapt when you learn something new. It is the opposite of being mentally rigid.
Okay, so there was no influence from soca, nothing from calypso, nothing from Kadas at the time. That was it. That was the birth of bouyon music.
It's when someone says, hey, this thing that you believe might not be accurate, and instead of shutting down, you pause and you say, let me do some research. That is brain elasticity, because none of us were born knowing everything. I bring this up because there are people outside of Dominica right now, in particular this one podcaster, Sizwe, who is dedicated in spreading misinformation that bouyon is a derivative of soca and calypso, when it is not. This isn't just a matter of disagreement. The issue is refusing to accept the living actual history of something being indigenous to Dominica. Bouyon didn't just appear out of thin air, it grew out of traditional sounds from Dominica. Jing, ping, quadrille, belela, pukabuit. That's where bouyon came from. You don't even have to take my word for it. One of the creators of bouyon himself can tell you in his own words.
These bands, with these traditional bands. And boys being boys, Keith and I eventually started to play along with them. And before you had it, the accordion that was being played by the Jimping band was played on the keyboard. Alright? The boom boom, which was played in the Jimping band, was played by the bass. The siak and the tambal was played by the drum machine. So that is how it translated from the traditional to, with no influence from any modern music at the time. Okay, so there was no influence from soca, nothing from calypso, nothing from Kadas at the time. That was it. That was the birth of bouyon music.
Bouyon was Dominican musicians taking their own traditional music, modernizing it, and creating something new. That is how culture evolves. But you see, when people insist that everything in the Caribbean must lead back to them, whether they are intentional or not, they are participating in cultural erasure. Because bouyon is not an offshoot of soca or calypso. It is a distinct Dominican creation. Imagine if Dominicans went around saying that soca or calypso did not come from Trinidad but came from elsewhere. Y'all would lose your minds. You wouldn't like that being done to you. So why are you so comfortable doing that to us? The Caribbean is a constellation. It is not a solar system with Trinidad as the center. Every single island has its own innovations, its own traditions, and its own genius. Trinidad has contributed incredible things to Caribbean culture, and it's very distinct, and we will never take that away from them. But let's not make being the Christopher Columbus of the Caribbean one of those things. Because you cannot create or discover anything that already existed in someone else's house. And the rest of the Caribbean definitely wasn't just sitting around waiting for Trinidad before we created anything. Dominica has its own very distinct cultural lineage. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we were the last island to get colonized in the Caribbean some 250 years after everybody else, mainly due to the fierce resistance of our Kalinago people who live with us today, right? And whether you like the genre or not, whether you approve of the genre or not, bouyon is one of our proudest creations. So all we are asking for is the same respect for our cultural origins that you demand for yours.